Yeah. Okay. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I would like to thank you all for your time today, and I would like to welcome you in our second meetup for .NET Kuwait. Today, me and Amir, inshallah, will present you how to migrate your existing web app from on-premises to the Azure. So this is a brief about us. Amir, my colleague, and I think most of you knows us. Amir is a senior engineer, works for KOC. Okay, has more than 15 years of experience. And this is me. I'm much younger than him. I have 10 years experience. Sorry, salt, yeah. And I work as an enterprise architect in KFH. I have some TOGAF certified in MCTS, you can contact me in here. Okay, who attended from the last time knows that we are part of the .NET Foundation. Okay, and last time, from that time to today, we have some updates. The new thing we have now we are part of the Azure Tech communities. Currently, you can see .NET Kuwait. There is not that much, tech communities for Azure compared to the .NET Foundation. Okay. We would like to share with you the survey we did with you last time. As you know, if you don't know, we have 13 person attended last time. 5 out of them, just replied to our survey, which is around 38%, response rate. We hope to get more feedback and also more attendees, But what we want to share with you, these two questions. One of them was about, what would you like, to us to share with you or present to you, and the other one was about, the type of meetups you would like. We noticed that, the highest rate was for the artificial, for example, for the topics was about web development, cloud computing, and AI and ML and DevOps. These ones was the top 3 or 4, you can say. And for the type of meetups, number 100%, that was shocking for us. All of you wants like a workshop or a lab presentations or kind of meetups. That's why we try to in this meetup to have both. We'll present something, we'll explain some of the theory, then we will apply it, with hands-on. Okay. Also, you want to have some hackathons. I don't know how we can manage to do it, but we'll see. Okay, let's start. So today we are talking about, as I said, we are trying to migrate our applications. You know about all the fuzz now about the cloud computing, and but maybe a lot of you doesn't know why people moving to the cloud. Why the cloud is the best thing, to have or to do. So we will present some of the slides showing the benefits of the cloud. Maybe some of you already knows that, but we would like to share this with you. So first of all, what is the cloud computing? Cloud computing is basically you are renting, an infrastructure from the provider. Either it's Microsoft now or Google or maybe Amazon. These are the big players now currently. So you are renting the resources. The cloud provider is responsible about the hardware and managing it. Okay. And it provides mainly maybe 4 types of services. Compute power, which is, you can say, like your virtual machines. It will be Windows, Linux, such a thing. Storage, where you can store your files and data. Okay. And networking for sure, and some analytics. So the type of compute powers, you have for sure the virtual machines, which we know. And the virtual machine, it's like, the virtual machine you have in your data center. When you go to the admin and say, please, I want this virtual machine with this specification. that much of RAM, this is the operating system and everything. So it's similar. Okay. The second thing, which is the containers, and I think maybe a lot of you hear about the containerization technology, which is one of the famous implementation for it is Docker. Okay, so it is like a consistent and isolation of your code and dependencies on top of the operating system itself. So this is another thing. Also, it's the compute power as type of compute power. The serverless computing, which is the name is somehow misleading. There is a lot of servers, when you say serverless. But for you are managing only the code. It's like a function. You just write a function, and that function will work against a certain event or a trigger. For example, if a customer, place an order, do 1, 2, 3. So you will write just the code, and the what you call it, the serverless computing or the type will just run and do the job for you, and you are not managing anything from operating system or even hardware, nothing. You just worry about the problem you are solving. So let's talk about now the benefits of the cloud computing. As I said, cost effective. Maybe a lot of people will argue about that. Is it really effective? There is a cost effective in this or not? I can say yes and no. It depends. If you don't have a control and governance, it will be very bad for you. But if you have a good control and governance, yeah, definitely it will to reduce your costs. Scalability, it's easy. It's one click. With one click, you can just scale up or scale out, or even without a click, automatically you can, based on some events, you can scale out or scale up. Elastic also. The workload change due to spike of drops. It can even, for example, you have a website which is during the holidays you will have a lot of traffic. You can based on that, your resources can also scale up and scale out. Current, because it's up to date, with the whole things, it's the provider is taking care of a lot of the things you don't want to worry about, like batching your hardware or batching even the operating system and these things. So this is one of the things. Also, it's reliable. Most of the providers now, they are giving what you call it 3 nines to 5 nines, availability. So it's really reliable thing, to have your resources there or your software there. It's global, like Azure or AWS. It's there everywhere, on all the globe. You'll find some data centers here in Middle East. Recently, they opened both AWS and Azure. You'll find in US, in Europe, everywhere. And for sure, it's secure. I believe they spend a lot, about the securing the whole infrastructure. I don't know how much in billions Microsoft is putting on this item. Now you have multiple deployment models when it comes. Now, for sure, not every business it is easy for them, to go to the cloud, fully. So, most of the providers, they have multiple deployment models. The public, which is you are fully with the provider. Okay, all the things is there, like and Azure, AWS, and Google Cloud. Cloud provider is managing and maintaining your resources. Private, you create your own cloud environment in your data center, but it will have some of the capabilities. You will have it from the public providers, like the Azure stack, where they will come. You will have like an appliance, maybe it's put inside your data center. They will configure it in some way. I don't think they will have the full capabilities of the public, one, but at least you have the agility and these things, you'll have it. The hybrid, which combines both, maybe due to some security or compliance things, you are not allowed, to share your data or take it outside the country. So maybe your app will be on the cloud, but your database and data is reside in your data center. So this is also achievable with this type, the hybrid. For sure, each one has its own pros and cons. It depends. It depends on the business and your needs. Type of cloud services, we have the three: infrastructure as a service, and we have the platform as a service, and software as a service. What it means, or what's the difference between them? The infrastructure as a service, it provides the hardware and the network for you, but you are responsible about the VM itself. You are responsible about patching it and making sure it's secure and up to date. This is when it comes the infrastructure. For the platform, you are not worried. There is no VM you are managing. They are giving you the platform for you, and you are just managing. You are developing against a framework, certain framework, an ASP.NET or a node or something like that. Okay, and the software as a service, you are not having an access to the code or anything. You're just managing maybe the data, your data. That's it, which is similar to your CRM Dynamics or your email or something. These are types of software as a service. This is explaining the difference. So on-premise, you are managing the whole stack. But infrastructure as a service, as I said, the virtualization server storage network is provider, and you are managing from up to the OS and goes up. For the PaaS, till the runtime, it's managed by the provider. So that means if there is a batching on, for example, in the platform itself or the runtime, like there is a new batch for the .NET, they will do it. There is no need for you to do it. And you are managing the data and the application. And for the software, they are managing everything. Maybe you have to it's a little bit misleading here. The data, you are for sure, it's something combined between you and them, because you own the data. It's your data. So for example, creating users or removing and access, it's your responsibility. And also, any provider have some of the data storage they provide. They provide the structured data, which is the relational data bases like SQL, SQL database, for example, semi-structured or no relation, no SQL things like Cosmos here in our case, and unstructured data, which is for the files and maybe PDFs, JSON files, anything it's unstructured. These are the types, as we said. SQL Server is type of, as we said here, the structure. Cosmos DB for the SQL. The disk storage for the unstructured one. On-premise versus storage. What's the difference between them? The availability, some agility, because it's easy for to have the storage. How many times in your, maybe I don't know if you are dealing. For me, I'm maybe here work with me. How many times we go to the window and we want maybe 500 GB and they said we don't have enough storage. Sorry, you have to wait for us to purchase it. So this is the case. One click and get it. Now this is like a glance, what you will get from any provider, any cloud provider, what they will give you. When we talk, say you want to migrate, you want to move to the cloud. So what's the steps or the procedure you have to follow? Normally, any business will not go and jump, eventually to the cloud as, straightforward, take the full advantage for it. So call the cloud maturity model, which is you will have your existing app on premise, okay? Then you will do, for example, something called lift and shift. Lift and shift, let's say, currently your app, it's a web application. It has a SQL server, let's say, and you have your the app server as simple as this. Maybe also some web tier also you have. So all of these, you will take the virtual machines as it and the cloud. So you are not doing that much of changing to the code. So it's minimal code changes. Okay, but it is easy for you, to move the cloud. Maybe a lot of businesses doing this just to get the benefit of the cloud, as we said, the agility and the cost effectiveness. And they don't want to spend that much of time, to go there. So they start with this model. As I said, new code will present application. And for a quick migration. So as we said, you are migrating from on-premise to the so you are there, you're creating the VMs for yourself, and your architecture mainly will be the same monolithic, thing, and the ones will be small cloud value, getting the full value of the cloud, not the whole capabilities the cloud provider is giving you. You are taking advantage for that. And minimal batching upgrades, because you are, as we said, maintaining the virtual machines, you have to up to date with the batching and your after that, you can go and do something called the cloud optimization. Okay, so you are optimizing your code or your application with the cloud. Also, this is with a minimal code change. Okay, done, it's not that much. So, and what you will get now, you will introduce maybe something new here, which is the containerization thing. So you will have you'll introduce Docker to your application, and this will need some new changes to your code or the architecture a little bit, but it's not that much, and we will show you today how it's not that much. So no re-architect or a new code, increase density and lower deployment costs, because when to the Docker, it will increase the lower deployment cost and improve productivity and DevOps agility, because this will enable part of the DevOps, in your pipeline, The only maybe cons will have the containerization is an additional step. Maybe it's also a skill set, it's not there in your team. So you have to build the skill within your team. So maybe you'll provide some trainings, so they will be familiar with the containerization technologies. After that, you will reach the full maturity, which is the app modernized. Here we are talking about re-architecture. Maybe you have now, you will take the advantage of the cloud. So maybe you'll now re-architect it to be like a microservice application, where each microservice has own life cycle. It can scale easily without any other service, where you have advantage from the cloud. And here, as we said, the pros is optimized for long-term agility, optimized for scale and high availability. So I think your application or business is going to grow that much and serve millions or billions. This is where you want to head and reach. Okay, and for sure it will be up to the modern architecture, which is the microservices. The cons, as we said, it's requiring a significant maybe or refactoring or rewriting the whole application from scratch. Okay. So this is the journey. As we said, it is step by step. Normally people do this, but it doesn't mean that you cannot jump from the on-prem to the cloud optimized, in one shot. It's up to you. It's not a theory you have. But this is normally what the people, do, as a maturity. Also for the, app modernized, you can go from one step to the final stage if you have the luxury of time and, and money to do it. Why not? So I think this is the slides enough of me. I think Amir will go through you. We have a simple app, guys. Whoever managed to log into the virtual machine we prepared, there is a folder called, I think, Migrate Your App on the desktop. You'll find inside it a folder called Code. This is the code which we will work against. Okay. So with a demo. Yes.